Well, they're up to about 4,500 tests, Tom, so there are 240,000 people roughly who live in the Northern Territory. You do the maths on that. The testing rate's probably slightly lower than some other jurisdictions, but the government's certainly hailing their response to this COVID-19 crisis as a success. There have been 30 cases in all and 25 of those have recovered. So we haven't had a new case here in the Northern Territory for some 28 days. 28 days today. There were two ADF members who were flown in here from the Middle East after they tested positive. But there are 5 active cases here at the moment in the Northern Territory. Those low number of cases is the reason that the government's been able to lift those restrictions earlier than in other parts of the country. So from noon on Friday, we saw those restrictions lifted, many of those social restrictions that allowed people to get out and about again, to gather in larger groups, so long as they maintained that social distancing. The parks across the Northern Territory were also open. So you saw people flood to some of those parks. At Litchfield Park, the campgrounds were closed by about 4 p.m. on Friday afternoon. Here in Darwin, I was down here at the Nightcliff foreshore last night, and it was packed with people who were out getting fish and chips, getting something to eat and drink, and they were at the jetty behind me, really having a great time, it's fair to say. I caught up with some of those people and asked them how they felt about the fact these restrictions are now being lifted.
I'm loving it. I feel like that we're the luckiest people in Australia, really.
It's the best place to be in the world, as it always has been. Doesn't need to be the con virus to be here.
I feel like there are worse places to be. Yeah. No, it's pretty good. It's nice to be able to get out and explore.
How good is it? How good's Darwin?
Relaxing as we always do.
Pretty happy you live here at the moment?
Taking the sunset in, as we should do. Yes, loving it, loving it. Better than being down south.
So those first restrictions have now been lifted. Tom, the next stage will be on May the 15th, when the Northern Territory Government has said that pubs, restaurants and cafes can reopen. It'll be a staged reopening. At first, those bars will only be allowed to serve patrons for 2 hours and they'll have to have a meal. But from the 5th of June, pubs will be able to reopen as normal, so long as they maintain social distancing within their premises. Many other businesses will also be able to open over the coming weeks, including gyms, beauticians and tattoo parlours. So there really is a transition going on at the moment back to what the government's calling a new normal, something that's been enabled by those low number of cases that we're seeing recorded here in the Northern Territory.